على الكتاب والسنة واتباع السلف الصالح.
Okay, that's a very good question, because it's always like at the middle of the month where, you know, a person after he's been striving so much, he begins to feel very, very tired. You know, the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, كان يجتهد في عشر الأواخر ما لا يجتهد في غيره. He used to strive in the last 10 days, a type of striving, and he would put so much effort that which he wouldn't do in the previous days of Ramadan. Also came in the hadith of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anhu, كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا دخل عشر الأواخر شد مئزره وأحيا ليله وأيقظ أهله. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, if the last 10 days entered, he would tie his trousers. It's like a figurative speech. His lungi, I think they call it in Urdu, right? In Somali they call it ma'wis. And in Arabic they call it izar. He would tie it, meaning he would like up his game, okay? And he would wake up his family and he would bring his night to life. But of course, this is the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Somebody thinks to himself, oh, he's the Messenger, he was the best of creation, okay? One thing that I've realized, my brothers and sisters, and inshallah ta'ala, maybe we'll take this as a lesson, there's a number of things that really, really soften a person's heart. And maybe because of us now feeling so empty inside, it has something to do with why our ibadat are really, going downhill. There's a number of points that a person can actually do. One of them is looking up the biographies of the people of the past, the righteous of the past, of how they used to do ibadah, how they used to conduct themselves in the month of Ramadan. My brothers and sisters, when we hear that Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu ta'ala anhu used to read the Quran, the whole Quran in one rak'ah. He used to read the whole Quran in one rak'ah. I've seen, when I was in Yemen, the Shaykh, he would read maybe sometimes 8 juz in one rak'ah. 8 juz in one rak'ah. These are people who are currently living with us. They are still alive. Inshallah, I'm going to send you a lecture as well of a brother that he recently done. He's a good friend of mine. He's studying in Saudi Arabia as well, where he was talking about the people of the past in the month of Ramadan and how much Quran they would read. But like I said, my brothers and sisters, again, it goes back to a person's heart. As Uthman ibn Affan himself, he said, لو طهرت قلوبنا لما شبعنا من كتاب ربنا. Had our hearts become so pure, we wouldn't have become bored of trying to read the Quran of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So again, it goes back to the issue of the heart, of us trying to really, really rectify it. There's people in our time, he was saying that he would read the Quran from Ba'd al-Isha all the way till Fajr. And he only passed away in 1970. He was the Shaykh of Shaykh Salih bin Abdullah bin Hamad al-Usaymi, who's a teacher in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's masjid. So us now reading the stories and the real life experiences of the people of the past, and standing over it, it really, really encourages a person and it ups his iman. There's this lecture that I really done, you might want to find it on my YouTube channel. It talks about sincerity and also how the people of the past, the righteous, from the 3 golden generations, those the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed, they used to hide their good deeds. It's one of them quotes when you read, it really ups a person's iman. Another thing, my brothers and sisters, that we can actually, take into consideration is to treat these days that is coming up as if it's maybe the last days of our lives. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us, إذا قام أحدكم في صلاته فصلي صلاة مودع. When you now stand up for prayer, then make sure you pray the farewell prayer. Meaning, this prayer should be a prayer that you pray and perfect it and put your utmost effort inside it, thinking that you might not be able to get another opportunity to pray another prayer. And we know between Isha and Fajr, between Dhuhr and Asr is only a few hours. If we've been told to pray the farewell prayer with regards to Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib, every time we stand up in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the period between the 2 salawat are very, very little. How about the next Ramadan. There's like 12 months away. How many people around us, my brothers and sisters, have passed away? I was just mentioning the other day in Masjid Furqan in Leicester, like people that I personally know. Subhanallah, my brothers and sisters, just before I left in Medina, Sheikh Abdul Razak al-Badr was telling us a story. Because the lessons that we was having was, directly revolving around death, and that we really need to kind of like take our lives a bit more seriously and softening the heart and so on and so forth. He said a couple of days before the month of Ramadan, there was this African brother who came to the Sheikh. An African brother who came to the Sheikh. And he was showing him the schedule and the timetable of another African da'i who was given da'wah in Africa. Everything that he had planned out. Everything that he had planned out to give the lectures, the khutab, the reminders, everything was already planned out. All the posters were already sent out. So this brother now in Medina is showing the Shaykh that this individual just died before the month of Ramadan, even though he had all of this ready. It doesn't, most of us, it might not necessarily cross our minds just a couple of days before the month of Ramadan, and also before the last 10 days in Laylatul Qadr, that our lives might be taken. It's something that we tend to really like, it just crosses our minds. It doesn't pass our minds that we could die. Everybody is already excited of Eid, we're already preparing. We're preparing for the month of Ramadan before it, and then Eid in the last 10 days. Just like maybe conducting ourselves in these, that it might be the last days of our lives. I'm sure we all know the brother called Ali Banat. I never knew him personally, but people who are very close to me, they had a very close-up personal relationship with the brother. He passed away a couple of days ago. Somebody who was really trying to look after his akhirah. I seen some of the brothers who I am very close to. I think the sister was studying with them. Just before Ramadan, she was posting of how we should really, take our health and, be thankful about our health. They were posting, Twitter images, screenshots. She just passed away a couple of days ago. Just recently, my teacher, he says to me, that used to teach me Quran when I was really young. He says to me, Muhammad, you travel quite a bit. Make dua for my dad. He passed away just before the month of Ramadan. It really softens up a person's heart to go visit the graveyard. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he told us in the hadith Buraydah ibn al-Husayb al-Aslami, كنت قد نهيتكم عن زيارة القبور فزوروها. I previously prohibited you from going to the graves, but now go and visit it. It came in another piece of narration that was added on by Imam al-Tirmidhi rahimahullah ta'ala. What is the reason why? Why did the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tell us to go and visit the graves? فَإِنَّهَا تُذَكِّرُ الْآخِرَةِ. It reminds a person of the akhirah. And there's another piece of narration as well, narrated by Ibn Majah, وَتُزَهِدُ فِي الدُّنْيَا. It makes a person look down and overlook the dunya. When you realize that you're going to be 8 feet down at any point of your life, that we're currently breathing, it really, really makes a person overlook the pleasures of this dunya and think more about the akhirah. So us, really treating these days as if it's the last 10 days of our lives, and us not being able to maybe reach another Ramadan, and having this on the back of our minds. You don't know Muhammad Ali, the great boxer, undoubtedly the best boxer to maybe ever fight in this dunya, as they say. When did he die? Last year, couple of days before the month of Ramadan. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.